Hey guys, welcome to the Mad Over Videos podcast by Guch. Today is episode 21, and today's guest we have Utkarsh Awasthi from Freshworks. He's the head of customer enterprise marketing global, uh, and he, he defines himself as someone who's at the intersection of customer success and marketing. Again, he thrives on uh, I think a customer first approach. He thrives on data and metrics and always has fun in what he does. He's also worked with a bunch of other brands. I think some of the most innovative organizations in the world, whether be it Walt Disney, it comes to Microsoft, Pepsi, AWS, Amazon, Panasonic, HP, bunch of them. I think he's the right person to give the all-rounded perspective when it comes to marketing to consumers and especially to B2B consumers. So without much ado, I will add to the stream Utkarsh. Please welcome Utkarsh to the MOV podcast. Hi
Thank you so
Utkarsh.
much, Pranav. Hi. Good morning and good evening to everyone who's listening across time zones. And happy to be seeing the big smile on your face yet again.
Awesome. Thank you first of all for taking time out. Like you're also based in India, so it is what 10:30 in the night. So
Yeah.
appreciate yourself. And before we move on, I'd like to know a little bit more about your background and your role currently at Freshworks.
Well, absolutely, and thanks for setting it up for me. So as you mentioned, like I'm a chemical engineer. Started with Infosys, then worked for Goldman Sachs, then worked for a couple of startups in Bangalore. I'm sure most of us would have heard of the place or would have been there sometime. It's an amazing place to be. So there, I worked for Unbox and Uninstall, both startups like 50 employees, 100 employees of sorts. And help them scale customer support, customer success teams, and was also doing pre-sales and project management there, like taking customers live, etc. So fun, exciting stuff. And in between, I did my own restaurant in HSR in Bangalore, and I did my own startup for a year before I got lucky and got to be a part of this rocket ship, Freshworks. And as you said, Freshworks have been amazing. They've given me a chance to work with all the marquee brands of Walt Disney and Pepsi and HP of sorts, and it was a fantastic experience there at Freshworks, wherein I started with customer success for ITIL, ITSM practices, and then moved to CX, CRM, and now I am heading customer marketing for enterprise business globally. So that has been the journey so
Yeah,
far.
yeah. But interesting that you also brought out that you had your own restaurant in the
Right,
mix.
right.
I'd like to know if you don't mind what it is to run a restaurant and what kind of learnings that experience give you that makes you a better marketer today.
I think a lot because you are putting in your own money. You are responsible to 7, 8, or 10 staff, at least what we had at that time. And we were also doing a health startup called Drop Calories, wherein we were bringing in chefs from Vivanta, Indian Dietetic Association secretaries, head of culinary for MS Ramaiya. So like a whole team we were bringing together back in 2015 to set up this whole health thingy in Bangalore. But so it was good. Whether it is marketing, whether it is running the show on your own and people are looking up to you for their salaries or getting the numbers in. So I think it was a humbling experience. The biggest takeaway is if you ever want to do something, please do it full time and go all in, as opposed to having your eggs in multiple baskets. So I would say in one line that was the biggest learning.
Yes, I think that's such a honest feedback because I've seen a bunch of people who have tried their hands at doing startups and burnt it because it's not a whole and soul effort that they put into this, and typically a half-baked effort will never lead to
Right,
something. So
right.
um, great. I think that sets up the foundation for why you should be invited on my movie podcast. Partly, the other half of it lies in my next question,
Right.
and that is why is Utkarsh mad over videos?
I think I'm personally very bullish on trends on creatives, right? And even at Freshworks, like I've got a great team who have different backgrounds. Like one of my key teammates, and I'd like to call him out because a lot of that we will discuss is also his effort, right? So someone called Raj, who's himself a co-founder and a successful, he'd taken a successful exit from his startup. He was a CMO there as well, right? So he is a part of a team. There are like people from Hacker Earth, from different SaaS companies. So we all come together, and we all and no one has a degree. Most of us don't have a degree in marketing or like core marketers with a decade of experience. So I think we come with a clean slate, and which is why I think we have nothing to lose. You can put it like that.
Yeah,
So we are very bullish on new trends. We experiment, and thanks to our leadership at Freshworks, they bet on us and they are willing to spend the dollars. So that is why video is one thing that came out pretty strikingly for us, because like even if you see as a consumer, I think if you read reports as a marketer, right, I think videos, the consumption has increased so much. And unfortunately, because of COVID, all your the what do you say, the old school mechanisms of 10-minute blog posts, etc., no one has the time. People are getting emails, they're working from home, it's so taxing. So like, how about a quick 15-20 second or a 30-second video, whether it's for value proposition, whether it's for adoption, whether it's retention related, but something which also brings a smile on your face. You can see something and understand and probably remember it as well. So I think, which is why I am bullish about it, and I look forward to investing more in it as a team and as a company going forward. That is the
that's
direction.
what. So my understanding of this has again strengthened over the last few episodes when we had other people from Freshworks on the podcast as well.
Right,
And I want to dig into this, that Freshworks has like rampant up their spends in video over the last few years. I think uh, they were very good at SEO. They were good at written content, etc. And being a SaaS company, that is one of the most important things, because you have to rank on search engines. But when it
right,
comes to videos, the I mean, general trend, like you said, has been the last few years. The video consumption has gone up.
right,
Globally, spends, we see a rise in spends, but in India especially, you see the mobile penetration has increased and the data penetration has increased in the last few years due to
right.
the technologies that have come up, and companies that have invested heavily in that. But I would like to understand a little bit more about leadership at Freshworks. What, why do they support wholeheartedly your efforts in video?
Right. I would say, as you said, right? Like, I mean, I think it all started with us seeing this unprecedented change. Not just, I mean, because of COVID, I think that was an accelerator, but in general also, we were seeing open rates to our emails going down, right? Webinar participation going down over the years, and not just because we weren't like not because we weren't delivering, but more so because every other person was also doing that, right? And I think it's very important to understand in SaaS space, because every segment has so many players. And like a particular business, Pranav, will have 25 to 30 tools that they use day in and day out. And for you and your company will be using several tools for your operations and stuff, right?
Right,
So
right,
where does, let's say, Freshworks stand in that offering, right? Or in the order of importance, or the order of revenue that they are paying us, right? I think that translates a lot into whether they'll open our emails or not, or whether they'll come and speak for us or not, right? So those kind of problems we were seeing, wherein while we have an amazing customer experience in CSAT, and we are leading in that, one of the leaders in the industry, but we still saw, because of sheer volumes, right? We thought, okay, email is going down, webinar is going down, and then now open rates and click rates also going down. So what are the other channels we can bet on, right? So we started experimenting with in-app, and it gave us amazing results, right? Like in-app, meaning for the broader audience, like within the product, you are showing either video ads or pop-ups or messages, right? We use Fresh Chat, our own tool, to do that as well. So that came up and kind of revolutionized it for us slightly. And then the next bit, of course, was using GIFs and videos, right? Wherein this conversation comes into the picture, right? How can we use 15 to 20 second videos when it comes to putting a point across, versus, let's say, a 2 minute video to kind of let's say upsell a feature to a certain audience, or at least letting them know about it, which also kind of translates into retention, right? So those
right.
kind of things became inevitable, right? And the management, as I said, was also supportive, because in these unprecedented times, there is no right channel or right medium. The intent is to deliver crisp communication, and the audience should hear it or read it or see it. So going by that default methodology, we started experimenting, and videos so far have been excellent, as you would know from our other podcasts as well. So
Yes, yes. Like you said, as B2B marketers, our primary job is to understand how our customers do their business and help them do so. Right? It's not that we can shove down something from our end and they are going to consume it. It is you cannot shove it down their throats. Right? You have to ensure that you communicate things that can help their businesses. They can run their businesses better. That is something that you need to talk about.
right,
Secondly, it's very important to know as a marketer that customers don't buy products. Customers don't actually buy what you build. They
right,
buy outcomes for them, right?
right, right,
And that is what you can do really well when it comes to uh, talking about outcomes and talking about like how you can make their life easy over
right.
shoving down features down their throat, right?
No, absolutely. I think bang on. I think it's actually what you said, right? It's also, I'll also add one more pillar to it, which is personalization, right? Now, let's say if you have 10,000 customers, maybe you can't personalize on a like a logo by logo level, but at least you can break it down into various segments. Like for example, you can break it down by employee size, right? How many employees that company has, let's say 500 or 1,000 or more than 1,000, right? Similarly, what is the easiest is, of course, industry, and you can categorize into, of course, the way you do it in terms of the MRR they are paying you, the ARR that they have, then the relationships that you have built, and then geography, right? Like we are a global company. In fact, I have a global role. So audience in Middle East works differently than audience in India versus audience in the US, for example, right? So I think a mix of all of these you can personalize to a certain degree, and coupled with not trying to sell but genuinely trying to help your customers to be successful in their roles, I think is also a very important lesson in customer success. So I think you've nailed that as well, Pranav.
Absolutely. Like you said, and videos traditionally people did not look at in this way because you would always think that one company would have one video that represents the brand or the product, and that would be it. Today, people have personalized videos for different geographies, for different segments, for
Right.
different types of messaging, and for different verticals. Not just for marketing. You're looking at
Exactly.
product videos. You're looking like sales videos, customer success videos. So everybody is using videos, and like I think other side you can look at people who are video practitioners have also been uh, like trying to come up with newer formats which can engage consumers at different levels. So it's for the marketers or sales or the leadership at companies who commission videos, as well as for the people who think creative and come up with these formats. So both of them have been putting enough efforts in sort of coming up with new ways to engage audiences.
100%.
Correct.
100%.
So in that sense, I mean, I have seen some of the things that you shared with me are really innovative in terms of how Freshworks uses videos and other channels, like which are sort of you have videos somewhere involved in those communications as well. So I'd like to like start breaking down these campaigns one by one and trying to see how you benefited, what went into making something like this, and what are the results that came out of it. Would that be
Sure.
fine?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's start with the first one, and the first one that comes to my mind, because you already mentioned something like this, is the email campaign, right? You spoke about having a GIF inside an email. Typically, you've seen boring outreach messages, long form text, or sometimes you put some images and links which look spammy, etc. What does it take to make an email communication that not just is pleasing to the eyes but communicates the right proposition to the consumers? And I'd like to show one of the emails that you shared with me and then break it down a little bit about it. You can talk me through this as we play this.
Sure, sure. So as you can see, right, like this is like 3 points, bullet points on what the GIF also says. It's like complementing that with a use case,
Yeah, yeah,
and just asking, because these are existing customers from a particular region, right, from a particular segment, let's say, which is ITSM. We were more direct and we said, okay, schedule a demo if you're really interested, right? So again, it is like for us, because most of them are existing customers, it's a totally different ball game altogether. For us, it's not top of the funnel content or thought leadership, but at least middle of the funnel or bottom of the funnel, because someone is already paying you, they're already using it. So all the more you need to be careful in how you're communicating and what you're communicating, and how short, because they know a lot of stuff already, right? In many forms. So yeah,
yeah.
and and once
Yeah.
someone wants to
As a
know
part
more
of
about it.
this email, I want you to talk a little bit more about how you've given a small tease into uh, the video that you will be directing them to also. Right here
Right,
with the GIF, you can actually see some of the things that are being called out, be it the features or the flow of information into from one point to the other. I
right.
really want to understand uh, what went into making something like this.
Fantastic, yeah. So I think there were two things, right? As I said, these are existing customers. They know about Freshworks in general, and they're also using the same product in some form or fashion. There's some team or some department is using it. So we wanted to keep it really crisp, right? Which is why, as you said, like instead of putting a banner and just putting a lot of content, we thought, why shouldn't we convey the top 5 things that we want to convey from the GIF itself, right? So that is what the GIF does. If you see, it is talking about the top 5 differentiators, or let's say top 5 features of that product that one can benefit from. And then the content is very specific to, let's say, your HR team can use it, or let's say your finance team can use it. So it's also drawing a parallel to where the usage also is according to us. And then we are asking, like, click here to know more, or schedule a demo, depending on the geography and the segment, right? Uh,
Yeah,
Also, now to your point, if someone now is interested to directly like click and learn more, there is a landing page which also has a video. In fact, even if you click on that GIF, we go to that landing page and we can play
yeah.
that video wherein.
And I will show the landing page first, correct? You said, right?
Right.
This is the landing page that you're talking about.
Right. So it because you are clicking, either you click on the GIF, or if you are clicking on click here to know more, for example, while we are capturing their interest and thanking them for that, but also we are adding another 20 to 25 seconds of information in that video, wherein people can also kind of, before you actually talk with the sales rep, you can watch this for 30 seconds. Not a lot of time investment on the fly, but you will still get the essence of what we are going to talk about, or what the sales rep is going to go into with you, right? So like kind of trailer teaser of sorts before your actual demo call. So
Correct. So, I mean, like I said, I'd like to go back to the landing page again. Again, I want to break it down. So you have the video embed. You've already captured the interest, right? Like you said, the copy that was there in the email. Once you click that, it means that the customer is interested. So you've captured the intent of the consumer.
right,
Now, even the copy that is there on the page on the first fold is you've taken the first step, and let us show you how you can leverage fresh service, right?
right,
So
right,
it's all tying together. So it's not just the video piece, but it is also the copy that goes with it, and the experience, like
right.
how you're ensuring that the consumer sees the information and consumes it, right?
Right. And
Like
we
you
are
said,
breaking it into touch points, right? So for example, someone who's content with the email, it's fine. Someone who wants to also like look at the GIF, he can stay there. And someone who wants to also spend 30 more seconds and look at the video and know more about it, you can do that, right? So it's like a breakdown of touch points and journeys, and trying to capture interest at various intervals, right? As you said.
and I like how you've also defined the journey of that consumer, right? Right from the time when he sees the email to reads and takes the action to click, that is, he's expressing his or her intent to actually opt in for the product, or sort of even learn more about the
To
product.
engage,
So
basically. Yeah.
correct, correct.
Yeah.
So and what is very important that so much thought goes behind coming up with this video, which we're going to play after we discuss this, is that this video cannot be used at the top of the funnel, right? This is
Right.
a video for someone who's already shown some interest in the product, etc.
Right.
So the
Right.
first understanding that all marketers need to have when it comes to video is uh, the whole idea of one size fits all doesn't work when it comes to content, and especially video content, right? You need
100%.
to, yeah. So you need to sort of know, like, because you have the power of using videos, and it's not just one video that you can use everywhere. Typically this happens, I think, when I have dealt with a lot of brands that uh, want a video to be made. They come to us and then they were like, okay, we need a video that can also bring us leads. It can sort of position the brand. It can also do 10 other things, and that is something that they get wrong, right? Because
Right.
if you aim for everything in one particular communication piece, it's not going to work.
Right. 100%. And just to add to your point before you play the video, I think I'll tell you, like, this video also, while it's very specific to a certain product user and telling them to also translate the message into other departments for per se. Trust me that this worked very well in North America or even Middle East, for example, but this did not go down like very well with, let's say, India, for example, because India, the whole ITSM game is not there, but in UK and US and even parts of Middle East, it's right up there. So I think every relevance or personalization or segmentation that you can add will yield you more results. I think this specific one was also held by someone called Chandni, who's in my team, and she has worked in Dubai for 6-7 years, right? So for example, like, so it's like different people coming together, sharing experiences, and we trying out something new or something different for that matter.
Absolutely. So let's play the video, and then you can tell me what went into making a content piece like this.
Sure.
Ever think of a service desk that can make your life easier? Freshservice is designed to do just that. With Freshservice, enable your employees to raise requests for any services. Get all the information they need at the click of a button, and also manage all the assets and requests easily and on the go. You can also integrate your service desk with hundreds of apps designed specifically to simplify the process. Trusted by over 20,000 businesses worldwide. Sign up for Freshservice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is, as we were talking before, right? This touches on, if you look at the whole journey and now this storytelling coupled with the audience it was targeted to, now I think it might make more sense for the audience as well to tie all the knots together and see why we did what we did, basically, right?
Correct.
And
Correct.
Our product team who actually kind of delivered this video for us, I think they also did a fantastic job of again tying the whole story with the number of customers we have and the experience that we have given, and that we are a global company, right? So all of that together. So yeah.
So I think you brought up a very interesting point there. Is your product team also got involved in making that video, right?
Yes.
It's often that most people across the company, especially in large organizations, this is the case where people from other teams may not take interest or just say that, hey, this is the marketing team's job to create content or whatever. It's like video, okay, that's not my job. I'm not being paid to do that. I'm being paid to write code, or I'm being paid to go out and sell or things like that. But you see the
Right.
importance of having them, right? I think they are the right people to communicate the actual product offering, what goes behind that. So that sort of input is important. You also need people that talk to customers, that understand their language, that understand their needs very well,
Right.
in order to understand the language that they speak, and then possibly even use the same wordings, right? A lot of times the best copy that you'll see or the best messaging you'll see is often derived from customer reviews or slang that their consumers use.
Right. No, 100%. Like, I think right from our CEO till our most latest recruit, I think we have a very strong collaboration culture. And at least in my case, Pranav, because we are customer marketing, right? So basically, we usually use a lot of content created by our PMM teams or product teams or segment and field marketing teams and repurpose it or tailor it for our existing customers. because there are different breed altogether when it comes to consuming content from a particular company, right? So who they're already using and working with. So yeah, I think it's a strong collaboration culture that we have, and that is how you can be successful. Because I think you made a very valid point wherein people come to you for videos, or let's say coming up with strategy for videos, but they want everything in one piece, and it has to be the right opposite of it. In today's time when there is a lot of content already, generic content already. So
yeah. The other thing that I want to now talk about is talking about not just talking about your product, but also talking about your product in action. Right? It's very important that you show how it works and a glimpse before I even sign up for it or actually go and purchase your product. It's important that I get a feeler of what it's going to be like, right? And how is it going to help my business? Again, here I'm what I'm coming to is showing integrations, right? We've seen, and I think I've got this stat from Cynthia when she was on the podcast, that Freshworks probably has over 1,000 plus integrations in place, right?
Oh yes,
and as the partner marketing team, their whole and sole job is to talk about these integrations and put out real stories of how outcomes are driven because of those integrations. I have one video that I'd like to play where we talk about the integration of FreshChat and WhatsApp, and then maybe you can tell me a little bit more about that.
Sure.
Before you go on to explain, I think I want to call out a couple of things here. One of the things that was done so beautifully is the integration of the double tick and what it turns blue at the end. That is such a native thing, like we all have seen, and we see it on a daily basis. So that's something that will immediately click with somebody who watches it. And the second thing that was done really beautifully with the copy and the animation was when you wrote that we reimagined how you connect with your customers, and the you and customers exchange positions, and it becomes how customers connect with you. I think understanding how customers engage with your business is very, very, very important. And like you said, what this integration also would be doing is ensuring that you are able to have conversations where your customers already reside, not trying to pull them into your product, but then they consume more information, or they converse on WhatsApp, and your product lets you can engage them there.
Right. I think that was the intent. So again, I remember again, when you talk about what, so we have 3 different versions of it, right? So because I think we won't be able to show the whole thing right now, but that this again was a campaign that we did wherein we had the famous Fresh Chat video, which I think you played with Cynthia, I believe, right? It has a million views already by and large. So we also have this ABC integration for North America that we did separately with the help of course, the product and the product marketing, the segment teams. And similarly, we did this for our ASEAN, India, and Middle East audience primarily, because WhatsApp is a huge market here, right, for us. So we had to do 2 videos, ABC, Apple Business Chat, and WhatsApp, and both were a hit. WhatsApp being, of course, more received because it's pan presence now. And it again, as I said, there were 2 options for us. Either you send 3 different emails, for example, with 3 different blogs and a lot of content explaining the integration with GIFs and a lot of images, or just this. And we chose the video, and for obvious reasons, and now it has 1 million views, so it speaks for itself. So yeah.
Absolutely. I think I don't know if you are in a position to give me the exact numbers, but then tell me what kind of difference do you anticipate when you make a choice like this? Say long form text versus video. What kind of percentages that you see? How big are the numbers apart from each other?
Right. I think they are, there is a significant difference. There are two ways to look at it, right? For example, we did not send this campaign immediately. So, I was doing an event in Joburg just before the lockdown in Feb, and there we played this video and we had this whole session about WhatsApp, and people just loved this video, right? And they asked us, if we can send this over. They want to share it within their peers. It's really cool. Not just the video, but the whole WhatsApp integration piece. They wanted to know more, and there was excitement because we were launching. We had just launched it back then. So it gave us a first litmus test was like, okay, people are liking this. What if we use it in our emails also, or in our different parts of content, whether LinkedIn, etc. So there is where it all started. And when it comes to open rates, like I'll tell you, an average open rate in an existing customer scenario in COVID would be around 15%, right? But if you put a video in the subject line, right, or even let's say even open rate is the first step, even if they go inside the CTA, right, where a CTA is a video, we have seen like 10 to 12% jumps, in clicks. So for example, on 1,000 email base, if people were clicking on the landing page, let's say 15 times or 18 times or 20 times, we've seen 80, 90, 100 clicks, or like from going to the landing page to YouTube channel. So those kind of stats, thanks to Fresh Marketer, we are able to gauge a lot of this stuff, and we've seen significant improvement, which is why we are really bullish on doing this more and more, right? And imagine, Pranav, I mean, forget that we are having a conversation. Just tell me this: if someone gives you like 5 different solution articles to read about how this integration works, or even let's say a couple of blog posts into okay, this is what we do, as opposed to that video, I think you will anyways do your research. I'm not saying video will solve the purpose for it, but that initial excitement and conveying everything with graphics and visuals, and I was still grooving to that audio. I'm not sure if I was live then, because but that music was very compelling as well, right? So I think all of this adds to the experience, right? And from that experience is that engagement journey begins, is what we feel.
No, undoubtedly. I think as humans, we are suckers for storytelling, right? Where somebody who's written an informative piece, I think we'd prefer watching a video over reading an informative piece, I would say.
Right.
An infographic is still somewhat better than a long form article, but then nothing can beat colorful animated graphics that are coming in front of you, and possibly the right music and
Right.
all that thing coming together. I think it creates an engaging experience. Sometimes I think it's just that you want to watch it again because of the music. It could be
Of
just
the
that.
music. Yeah.
It is true. It is true. That's how it works. And undoubtedly, you also mentioned
And,
how
and
you.
Pranav, one more point I would like to add, that see, it's in our business, as I said, there's so much noise and SaaS now, especially if you're using a lot of products, you're tech savvy company. It is very important that recall value is also very important, right? So for me, among thousands of content, whether it's a in-app or a LinkedIn or a YouTube or this video for that matter, it has to stay with me, right? That is very important. I think that also, if like 6 months later, you are looking at a chat solution, you should, if you remember because of the music or the video or the aesthetics, or just by that sheer ad which impressed you, I think that recall value is also very important for us. So that also adds on with a groovy, nice video conveying the right things in a short time.
Correct. And there's no hating this. I think what clickbaity headlines try to do for articles, right? They ensure that you sort of click, right? They get the job done. It is important that the content piece does the job for you. It
Right.
doesn't matter how it does it, right? A lot of times it's cringe. It could be like we've seen a lot of ads that you're like, okay, why did I do this? But then that's enough for like sort of having a conversation, and it solves the purpose for you, right?
Right.
It's important that your content piece makes heads turn, and that is
Right.
very important. I mean, even if you create a video, get the best of the best producers, directors to come and shoot an ad for you, but if it doesn't spark a conversation, and whatever millions that you've spent in making and promoting that ad is of no use unless and until there are conversations around it. So the simplest example that comes to my mind is the promo that you put out for this episode. We saw a comment that said that, hey, I mean, this looks dated, right? For the simplicity of it, this looks dated. And
Right.
the thing is, like, okay, I was so happy that it got that guy to come and comment on your post, because
Right.
it that is what we want, right? I mean, when you put out an announcement, you want people to take notice, and he did. So I think
Right.
the purpose is met.
No, absolutely, and I think this is the world that we live in, for the good or the bad. And there is, all kinds of feedback, all kinds of suggestions, which is very important. As you said, this also is engagement. Everything is engagement.
Yes,
So
yes,
so yeah.
absolutely, no doubt. You also mentioned about having video embeds in email, and you just spoke about how it bumps the engagement rates. I want to show another email that uh, Freshworks sent out, and I think this is an email about uh, I think Fresh Works. What product is this?
Yeah, so this is
What are
again more of this is again more related to adoption, and then kind of falling into the retention bucket as well, wherein we are trying to kind of educate our customers on the Freddy amazing Freddy AI ML solution that we offer, right? And we are talking about how other marquee brands have also kind of solved their use cases using Freddy, and how one can do it easily as well. So this is both like an upsell and a cross sell for us. We are into pretty much all categories. We have 12 plus products, so pretty much everything for us is upsell and cross sell if it's done right to the right segment in the right audience, right? So in fact, if you look at it, this is the first ever time, and which is why I wanted to share it with all of you, wherein we have used click here to know more is not a landing page, but it is actually our YouTube page directly, right? And we just wanted to again experiment on how this translates, how are the open rates, click rates, and conversions from this campaign, wherein we are directly now using YouTube as a landing page, and the video for adoption, which is like educating the customer directly and seeing some traction from there. So if you have the video, I would love for you to also share that for the
yes.
audience to see where this goes eventually.
Before playing that video, I think the first thing that I also want to point out is that there are two clickable links in this email. One
Right.
takes you to a landing page that is a case study about how PhonePe automated 1,500 queries
Right.
because of the bot.
Right.
Again, there is a video embed on that page as well. I'm
Right.
not sure if we can show that to the customer, to the viewers right now. But the
Right.
other link that you just said, which is the primary CTA, the box which is highlighted in blue,
Right.
again takes you to a YouTube video, and I'll play that first before we talk about it. So
Right.
that is this.
AnswerBot gives your customers instant and precise answers to their common questions 24/7. But it doesn't stop there. AnswerBot can understand intent and transfer the conversation to your team members, or trigger a custom bot flow and close the conversation, automatically resolving repetitive queries faster, saving your customers time and freeing up your team to focus on more important conversations. So let's see how to create your first answer. Just go to your bot menu and choose Answer Bot.
So I think we had to cut the video short because this
Sure.
was a 3 to 4 minute video. But I think I like to take everybody back to the email and just say how you connected these pieces together. So the copy on the seat, the call to action on the button is click here to know more. And
Right.
the beauty of it is when you go to the video, you actually have a voice explaining you about how it works, right? Uh, it's not random text coming with some music or whatever. You've shown how the product works in action. You have a voice that guides you to the process and tells you exactly how it works. So that is, I mean, it's very important for people to take notice how just the video is not enough, but like planning the entire journey of how the consumer will sort of engage with that piece is very important.
Right. I think for us, and the reason I can also share this freely here is because I think all of this information is there in landing pages or YouTube or LinkedIn. You can go and watch it for yourself after this. And the reason why we used it like that, as you said, right? Because again, we were sending it to someone who's already using a product for which this is an upsell opportunity. Then we are also sending this to a consumer which is using a totally different product, but this can be a cross sell for us because bots can be utilized across for us, like in most scenarios. So now we had to consider that. Then we also had to be very careful on not beating our own trumpet, blowing our own trumpet, but also having a genuine customer of ours who's really come out there and shared how they were successful, both in text and in a video form, which, as you highlighted, is there. The link is there, phone pay, right? And then eventually, if I am happy reading those 3 bullet points and or knowing from that customer, I've got that that hedge to also know more. Then when I click on that CTA, I actually have a 3-minute solid clip, which if you see the full clip, it will actually show you how that bot is built from scratch and then how will it look on your website. So this checks the new business or growth or revenue tick box. This also checks adoption tick box for people who already have this in their product offering but might not be using it the way, or might not be envisioning it in the way we have told, or in the way, let's say, our customer testimonial or the case study they are sharing their experience, right? So it kind of checks everything for us. So all in all, it's a package which is delivering revenue opportunities as well as adoption opportunities, and which of course translates into better retention from those users who are already using Freddy per se.
True. I think I don't have to further dive into this. You've explained it beautifully, Utkarsh. Thank you so much for doing that.
Sure.
The next thing I really want to talk about as a medium that Freshworks is exploring right now and is seeing success at is LinkedIn.
Right.
Again, and you've not just used LinkedIn to do promoted ads, but they're also sort of diverting that audience, whoever is interacting with those ads, to a landing page or a registration page, and then you're showing them certain videos which helps them convert further, right? So I
Right.
like to show the ad first, and then we'll go to the registration page and then show the ad as well. So this is the ad that Freshwork promoted on LinkedIn.
Right.
What can you sort of walk me through this a little bit?
So sure. So I think again I'd like to give a quick shout out through your medium. That I mean, again, we have an amazing team here. So for this particular ad, like, there is someone called Pritika who heads Europe for us. She and again Raj had already mentioned, both of them work really hard on our LinkedIn campaigns, along with Mahesh, who is from our digital team. And as a team, like, we keep meeting and kind of understanding, because for us it's the first time we are spending on LinkedIn for existing customer base. Again, believe me, it's very different from a traditional top of the funnel prospect marketing, because people are already aware and knowing the same thing, right? So I don't want to be like a broken report, but again, coming to the point, this ad again particularly defines, also keeping the COVID situation in mind, on how cloud telephony and modern phone-based system is changing the game. When it comes to COVID, when it comes to work from home, when it comes to having access to everything easily without kind of breaking your head. So we wanted to convey that feeling. And again, this feeling is not that we woke up and kind of we imagined this. We spoke with a lot of account managers, customer success managers, and they kind of told us that this is what they're experimenting. And then there is a lockdown again happening in Europe, is what they told us, I think, last month, and things are still tight there. And similarly, this Diwali coming in India, there is Thanksgiving. There was Diwali in India and Thanksgiving coming in the US. So we thought, why don't we come up with something and play it on LinkedIn and use LinkedIn as a channel. So this is how this ad came up. And when you go to the landing page, you will see, if I'm interested to know more, or if I really like the LinkedIn ad, the landing page actually, again, while it has this is kind of our style, wherein we put 3 to 4 bullet points, nothing more than that. And then if you probably scroll below, or if you change screens, you will see that here also we have put product adoption videos, because these are same customers. They may or may not be using some other telephony, or, for example, our offering. So it covers both that, and we also have customer success stories here. So again, different touch points, different experiences, and tying the whole story together is how we have how we have given a shot at this.
Absolutely, like you mentioned, you've not just put feature explainer videos there on that page. I'm sorry, I'm not able to show the entire page or the next couple of folds on that registration page.
Right.
But like you mentioned, you've also put in a bunch of product feature explainers there
Right.
and also customer stories.
Right.
It's very important. Like I'll go back to the point that I made earlier towards the start of the conversation. Is that people don't just buy products that you build, but they buy outcomes. And if
True.
they see that those outcomes have occurred with a brand that or another person that they can see and trust, then the chances of them adopting it goes far and beyond, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
very easy for someone to take that up after they see that. So it's very important that you not only, like you said, blow your own trumpet, but you also show customer stories where they have driven business outcomes because of your product, and that's very 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 important how you do that. And I think it just like you say builds social proof for anybody to just say that okay, let me give this a shot.
Right. No, absolutely. And see, the thing is, as I said, like when we also are doing any of these kind of ads, right? We see a need. So as I said, Diwali was happening in India. I mean, before we of course did this ad, and then Thanksgiving was coming. Europe would have been going in another lockdown. So we thought there is a genuine problem, right? Again, things are getting worse, and while trade volumes will increase because of holidays. So this is a genuine problem that we'd like to solve, and if our products can solve it, while the medium is our product, but eventually what we're trying to say is that there is a problem, and you have to kind of solve. If you want, you can solve for it using this. So it's again about making our customers successful and making our customers happy, right? So eventually, that will come back to us. But and also, like when people talk of brand building, I think this is also because we have so many products. As I said, a dozen products. It's very important for us to also keep ensuring that all our logos know about all our products at some point in time, right? So it helps us in both ways, Pranav.
Correct, absolutely. Like you said, like it's very important that we speak about customers, and you can see it clearly in the way Freshworks does it. They have a customer spotlight section, and I like to throw that on the screen right now, and it's so beautifully made, right? I mean, it's almost like how you shop on e-commerce, right? You have
Right.
filters by industry. So if I come from a particular industry, let's say FMCG, or I come from the finance background, I want to talk I want to listen to customers who are from that particular domain. I can just at a single click filter only those videos and then watch a bunch of them. Because if I come from a certain background, it becomes much more easier if I see people from the similar background talk more about the product. So this is first of all, kudos to Freshworks to have compiled a section like this primarily because it takes a lot, right? I mean, it's not one or two videos; it is hundreds of videos that go in the back end because I can see about 15 to 20 categories itself there, and then each category has at least 5 to 6 videos or more. Some of them have even more videos in each category, and it takes a lot to actually produce these videos. I think not just in terms of money, but also in terms of commitment, right? To
Right.
ensure that you are able to commission so many videos and do it with all the honesty.
Right. And in fact, these most of these are from Refresh, our annual flagship event. So some of them, in fact, while you won't see the face, of course, but I was the customer success guy who's recording this in Vegas and New York, and it was a humbling experience. Trust me. As you said, there is no other recognition for a company or for an individual if your customer really appreciates you and understands the value that you're providing. Right? It's, as you said, it's not about product; it's about the value and how you're changing lives at the end of the day positively. So I think this is really, really humbling. And again, as I've said before, right? Like I think from 30-40% marketers who believed in videos or some kind of ROIs or in general on unconventional ways of marketing from 2015, now it's close to 90% in a recent report I was reading, right? And similarly, as you said, in India as well as abroad, 4G and now 5G spectrum also starting. I mean, it is said that the CAGR for this will be 20%, wherein people will spend more time online let's say roughly 2 hours a day to 4 to 5 hours a day going forward. So I think all of this combined, I think it is absolutely essential for us and for most other brands to kind of envisage it and do it in their own way, of course, do their own research. But if it fits the bill, they should give a shot at it.
Absolutely. I'd like to play one of the videos from the customer spotlight section.
Sure. Always the best time to hear something.
I am part of the bedside group, which contains the Emma mattress all across the world, the Pillow mattress, and the Domando brand. I am the team leader for customer service, so I am taking care of implementing new tools like Freshworks, for an example, taking care of also our customer service employees.
Yeah. So I think we had to cut the short a little bit because of time constraints, but I think also the whole experience of recording this. What is very interesting is that you all played it really smart. There was an event where there were multiple customers in one single room.
Right.
You ensured you had the right kind of setup and ensured that you all convinced the customers to come and speak on camera. The people who already felt greatly about the product, I think people who were ready to come on camera and say, you ensured that there was a proper setup with camera lights, audio equipment ready for them to just come and plug in and just see it. Because it's very difficult when you ask them for additional time from their work, when they are in their office or at their homes, to come and take time out and record a video and send it, or even entertain a production crew in their office. A lot of times, I mean, some people do entertain that, but in today's world, everybody is like ensuring the best of their time for themselves. And I think when they're already in the room, and you, I think, did a fantastic job of sort of taking these clips out in the same refresh event, and you possibly had hundreds of videos ready just because you all had production set up there.
Yes, and from then it became a norm, right? So, like for example, we did a couple of small events in San Francisco and Dubai, last year, second half, and both only had 50-60 customers attending. It was a small event, but then we ensured that we keep a small desk and we had a cameraman and we were recording, and people were happy. And I think all thanks to G, our CEO G, and Freshworks, they've made a fantastic ecosystem, and I think people love it by default. So for us, it makes our job easier to just get them to speak their mind out and heart out. But yeah, it's humbling and it's rewarding. Yeah,
absolutely. It's and if you look at it technically, also the video doesn't look like it is produced at the event, because you get a good frame of them speaking, and then you have a lot of b-rolls and cutaways that you can shoot later on and plug them into the edit on the timeline later based on what they're speaking. So you actually have a full-fledged video. I think hundreds of them, just because you acted smart and put a camera there and set up a booth there.
Right.
Absolutely. So I think we've spoken a lot about videos that Freshworks has done. I now want to know, as a marketer, the kind of people whose work you admire, possibly outside of Freshworks. You can talk to me about people that you follow on LinkedIn, brands that you've seen and gotten inspired by. This is possibly the right time to sort of do that shout out for those guys and ensure that they know that there are people who appreciate what they do.
Right. No, absolutely. Like, I think there are, it keeps changing basis what I'm doing. For example, when we are pursuing different projects, one would go research, look at other brands, competitors, etc. So I think it is a big list, but I'll just tell you recent examples which I've come across and I really liked. So, like I was trying to use Canva for some personal project, and we were also trying to edit something on our own. It was like really last minute, and I love the whole onboarding experience. I think also Atlassian, for that matter, their marketing is amazing. The way they've worked with their onboarding team and put that journey across is genuinely worth mentioning. Right, like in terms of, I would say, advocacy, like if you look at Cvent, I think they have a Cvent celebrity page, which is something that I loved, and I was like, wow, I mean, they've really put in some thought. So depending on what project we are doing, let's say with engagement, growth, advocacy, we keep looking out, and these were the most recent names that came to my mind. However, like in terms of like one specific example, I think I was in San Francisco when Gainsight offered us, I think that 2 years back, to give a tour of Tesla factory. Their marketing team reached out, and 8 to 9 folks, from different companies, we went together, and then it was amazing. It was a very different marketing event. We are not talking about the product, but you are genuinely wanting to give an experience to your prospects, and then slightly mentioning the product angle. So that was interesting for me. Right, in terms of people, frankly, like I don't like, I keep reading or watching videos, but I think one person that I've been seeing off late is Chandar Padabiram. So he's a CMO of Coupa, and I think Coupa as a company also has done a great job of advocacy and how they project their customers. So since I'm we as a team are working on that, I think that is something that came across. I think you guys should hit up Chandar's YouTube videos, and his storytelling is something that is very compelling. I personally liked it, so saying it. And even within Freshworks, I think we have a lot of champions. I think Arvind, who has also come on your podcast, he's now the CEO of SuperOps, and he's also exited from Zagit successfully. I think his knack of doing physical events, these refreshes and blips, I think is amazing, and I've learned a lot from him. And then, of course, Arun, who's our Chief Growth Officer, I think he's again in MOV's CMO, and he's Chief Growth Officer here. And here also, like his execution, his marketing vision, like how do you scale in org, and how do you use put a growth mindset to marketing and ROI to marketing. I think that sets him apart from the rest, and there's so much to learn. If you watch his YouTube videos or wherever he has spoken, I think you'll derive a lot of sense from how to kind of get ROI from even branding efforts, right? So how do you grow and scale? So I think some of the names from ex-Freshworks, current Freshworks, and other companies, if that answers, but that's the latest that I'm looking into.
No, absolutely. I think I love how you've mentioned the people that you've been inspired. And again, one of the other things this will spark at Madover Videos is the community feeling, of getting connected with like-minded people who want to explore the medium of videos and use that to say further their day-to-day routines when it comes to marketing or say sales or product, etc. I think this is something that we want to also cultivate in the people. I think first of all, it's been great to have you on the podcast. Now, I want to ensure that you also have that kind of a feeling where you feel connected with the rest of the speakers. So I think another initiative that is possibly coming out from our side very soon is an e-magazine called MOV Buzz, where we will be featuring speakers and throwing spotlights on people who've not also been on podcasts, but possibly are potential people who will join us in our journey to come, and also sort of try and create opportunities for people who've been in touch with us and try to give back to connect with each other. So we'll try and organize some sort of virtual meets where we can sort of also exchange ideas within this group and learn from each other. So I hope you will be a part of that and will support us in those endeavors as well.
No, I think it's an absolute pleasure, Pranav. And I was telling you offline also that our next bet is podcast and YouTube as a channel. Again, trying to kind of evangelize something for our existing customers, and I think this also gives me a lot of good opportunity to learn on how other marketers are taking a shot at it and what their thoughts are, each to its own, but it's always a pleasure and to learn something new and get to know something new. I hope from our campaigns, people who will see it might just give some feedback, good or bad. I don't mind, but as far as people tell that it's helping or this is how we can improve, I'll be more than happy to be a part of it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure hosting you on this episode, Utkarsh, and I hope we get to stay in touch and collaborate more often than in the future, not just at Madover Videos, but also sometimes to create videos for Freshworks in times to come. And with that, I think we can bring this podcast episode to an end. To everybody else who's been watching, we will be back with the next episode very soon with more more interesting guests that I don't want to announce right now. But please stay tuned for the promotions that will come out very soon. And until then, see you guys.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.